I say to my staff, is 99% good enough? For that 100th person, it isn't. 99.9% is our goal. So I was be'erech told this Shabbos, or Motzi Shabbos, by an outstanding dentist named Dr. Menachem Schrader of Ramot. That's how he runs his dentistry. 99% is not enough. What a chizik. What a lo mikol adam opportunity. I reflected a little to myself, into more, and wonder, is that my goal in the chinuch of my talmidim, or running the yeshiva, to only make 1 out of 1,000 mistakes? I think I'm probably more forgiving of myself than that. But it's a big chizik. Imagine, and all of us, can we think of the areas that we care about in life, if it would be like that, in any focus area of our lives. When it comes to shalom bayis, I don't want to be 99.9% with my husband or wife. I only want to make 1 mistake out of 1,000 opportunities I have. I only want to make 1 mistake out of 1,000 in lashon hara, or wasting time. So that was a big lo mikol adam. We were just talking, and then he talking about his dentistry, being a dentist. I had heard he was an outstanding dentist, but it's not when we were talking. I was happened to be staying at his house. The yeshiva had a couple Shabbaton Ramot that was close by to the center of the activities. Beautiful house, a very nice person, very nice couple. And there we have it. So that was lo mikol adam. Now that would kind of I think the Ron just kind of sent that to me, which is so obvious, so I could share something with the Holy Olam on Chanukah about lo mikol adam. But there are opportunities like that around us all the time. But we have to be lo mikol adam. We have to be desirous of chachma. As we established last week from Rabbeinu Yonah, this sugya, this topic, is not a bein adam l'makom topic. It's not a bein adam l'chavera topic. It's more like a bein adam l'atzma topic. Certainly not a bein adam l'chavera topic. It's not that, when you learn from people, they'll feel so good. They'll feel honored. Honor them by learning from them. That's not what it's about at all. It's about us. That we in ourselves, inside of ourselves, are so desirous of chachma that we want to learn. And it's not just from books. Books are obvious places for sources of wisdom, but there are people out there that we can learn from. Of course I want those opportunities. Of course when I'm in a casual conversation talking to someone, of course when I'm on the bus thinking about a driver, I'm going to try to be lo mikol adam. I have a bunch of angles to take this, which we'll share Bezrat Hashem in current week, some of them. And I'm not sure myself, but I'm working it through. But I think the practice will make perfect. It's a mindset. People we meet are sources of wisdom. I want that. I was, by the way, reminded as I was writing this up and thinking about this for this Vaad, some basic lessons in NLP I learned from Rabbi Pliskin. Rabbi Pliskin is someone I imagine most of you know. He was once, I think, one of the main writers in English. I think probably going back 40 years or so, 30 years or so. He wrote a book called Gateway to Happiness, which is very popular. He wrote a book on lashon hara and consulting the wise, and Begin Again Now, and on anger. He wrote probably tens of books. I think he wrote some of them under Art Scroll, which is a chashuv label. Anyway, so I took a course from him one time, and the course was based on different chachmas that he had. And he's a person he was definitely a big lo mikol adam. He had a yeshivish background, a Telz background. His father actually, I think, learned by the Chavetz Chaim, as he often quotes. But he taught a lot about this idea called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Now, what NLP is a certain type of system used to conquer fears and accomplish things and the like. It's not really like a therapy. It's more like a process of how to do things. Neuro-linguistic, neuro, brain linguistic programming. It's like a question of programming your mind. The basic idea was that the mind is like a powerful thing, and you can program it to do all types of things. It's the basis. The famous Tony Robbins, a pretty famous person, and his basis, I don't know what he's doing today, but the base of his seminars was based on that. For those who know who Tony Robbins is, and Rabbi Pliskin, I maybe took 8 classes from him on this, explained once that it's all based on lo mikol adam. That what they do, the theory of the 2 people who founded it, I think Tony Robbins took a lot from them, and actually I think there was even a lawsuit in there somewhere. But that basically what they said, like, someone has done this before. There are successful people out there. Figure out what they did in B'derech HaTeva. And besides, of course, Kadosh Baruch Hu has to give the shtempel. But B'derech HaTeva, you can repeat what they did, right? You want to know how to make money? There are people out there who made money. Of course, it's bashkacha, but the people who didn't. You want to be good at sports. You want to be good dealing with people. It's out there, and you can repeat what they did, which I remember was an interesting message, and that's how the whole thing is built. Like, so the goyim, at least some of them, they know this idea about learning Mikol Adam. I don't know if they phrase it Lo Mikol Adam, but I distinctly remember Rabbi Pliskin saying that was how the whole thing is. Right there. Now, I remember when Rabbi Pliskin, I guess probably internet existed, but they did tutorials, which I don't think I've ever done myself, but there's such amazing tutorials apparently for free on everything. You want to know how to build a home, build a car, build this, build that. Someone's done it and it's out there. Those are kind of like obvious Lo Mikol Adam. But I think what I'm trying to get across is just talk about like the mindset, right? Someone's Lo Mikol Adam. Person said, like, I have to figure this out on my own. There are many things you have to figure out on your own, but there are a lot of things that it's out there, and someone can learn from you, and it's there. So, and now we as Jews are going to be more open than the NLP founders, because we want all types of wisdom, right? They may want to just know how to get by in the world, or make money, or have a successful marriage for sure, right? But we want a lot of things. Now, let's think about. I'm just thinking about the people in the Vaad that I know. I know some of you. So this group, what are things we want to know? So let's think about it. We want to be successful in our marriages. I think all of us know that it takes some knowledge. The men know that, the women know that, and we read books about it and go to classes and see clips about it and think about it, because we know there's knowledge about how to be successful in a marriage. We want to know how to be successful in Chinuch Habanim, our children, right? All of us are thinking about that. We want to know as much Torah as possible, and we want to know in many areas, right? There are Gemara learners out there. Some people are learning less Gemara, but they're learning other things. Chassidus learners, Halacha L'Maisa learners, Chumash, Nach, Musar, right? We want to learn those things. Self-improvement, another category. We want to be good at our jobs. Many of us want to make money, right? We want to make the right steps and investments. We don't want to make stupid investments, etc. So that's a lot of wisdom. And lessons are coming at us all the time, right? You don't know, but the great Chinuch Habanim lesson that you're looking for might not be on the next page of the book, but it might be in watching an Italian and his child on the bus or on the train. It could be. That's what Lo Mikol Adam is, right? Well, no, but I'm just learning from like a Torah source. Of course, Torah sources are special, but the lesson you want about how to treat your child might be on the train. You don't know, right? So, and we have to be desirous of them. So a person's thinking like, whoa, I want wisdom. They got the wisdom. I need some of that, right? And I don't, and here's what, I don't know what kind of opportunities are going to be there. It's like, but it's open. The playing field is open. Whoa, let's get out there. Now, this is a pleasure to speak about this. I'm recording this for those who are listening in real time. I'm recording during this Hanukkah. And Hanukkah was all about wisdom, because the Greeks were great Bali Chachma. As we know, a lot of the ways we think about things today is in the secular world, which we all engage in, was Greek Mahalchem and things. And it's all about getting Chachma right, and or in their Choshech, because the terrible mistakes they made about where wisdom takes you. So there was something very, very missing in them. But we want wisdom, and we want wisdom in the right way. We want wisdom in the good way. And one of the things that's going to get us wisdom in the good way is Lo Mikol Adam. I'm not saying that Hanukkah is about Lo Mikol Adam. I'm not saying that. That would be, I don't have any source for that. You never know what you might find. But that's not the point what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is that the idea of Lo Mikol Adam is part of getting Chachma right. And as much as Hanukkah is all about Chachma, today we want to get our Chachma right, and we want to become more and more Lo Mikol Adam. Okay? So I remind everybody, next week is off. It's a vacation week in Yeshiva. Vacation day, not week. So we have 2 weeks. So, as I mentioned, I have a bunch of kivunim to go, but I want to keep it simple, I think, for the next 2 weeks, and not move off of the basic thing that we'd started with. We'd said last time to try to learn 3 things, I think, over the week from those who are not close to you, like this person, right? There's something called, my wife, my husband, my child, my Rebbe, my classmate, my chavrusa, my Rav, the Gabbai in the shul. Maybe Gabbai in the shul, you have to know where that would stand. But if we could generally break down interactions and people to 2 categories. There are people who are quite close to us, and there are people who are quite far away from us. This Mr. Schrader, I don't know when I'm going to see him again. Dr. Schrader, if ever, I spend a Shabbos in his house. Maybe next year, if Shabbaton will be again, I'll spend another time in the house. Could be. But it's very likely I won't see him for a year, and maybe I'll be away that week, or something won't work or something. So it could be I won't see him for 2 years or 3 years. I don't know. But there was something to learn. And then there are things to learn from people who are close to you. So, and I think probably there's some of us who will be good at learning from people who are close to us, and there's those of us who will be good at learning people from far from us. But really, if we want to be learning kol adam, like the Mishnah says, learn from kol adam, from every person, we want to learn from those who are close and those that are far. So let's jump into that. We have 2 weeks. Let's try to learn mamish 5 things from those who are closer to us, from those that are farthest. And the benefit of this is that we're going to have 10 things, 10 new. Look, I have this beautiful 99.9% thing, which I could give in a Vaad, probably give to myself. And I'd be very, very happy to share that with someone because it's a real lesson. So I hope I remember that. And I would very much suggest that everybody write down. Writing it makes it so much more real than just, doing it. When you do it, you forget things. It becomes more vague, less sharp. So if we want to do this seriously, I would strongly suggest people write down. So Bezrat Hashem next week again is out by 2 weeks, a little bit less than 2 weeks because I'm only sending this out on Monday evening. Some of you will probably only hear it on Tuesday, so it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday, and then another week until the following Sunday. That will have a whole bunch of new knowledge. And also we're going to be opening ourselves up more and more to this way of thinking, to start to see life. Life is an opportunity of wisdom. I want wisdom. Every day presents itself with a wisdom opportunity. Every moment are wisdom opportunities. Every person is a wisdom opportunity. Sitting at a wedding, a wisdom opportunity. Yeah, sure, you want to have some steak, some food, great. But much, much, much more important, is the wisdom that you might acquire. And there was no Kol Shekain, of course, Chachmas Torah, obviously, but not only Chachmas Torah, right? Like I said, they're all areas, right? Someone wants to invest, right? For those of us who are a little more advanced in years and need money, how to invest is a very important thing, right? Don't be mizalza, because I'll talk about how to invest money. A lot of Abraham lost a lot of money one time. Moshe Feinstein said, I can't understand how they didn't follow the advice of the Gemara in how to invest. So don't think that's not a Jewish concept, investing money, that's for the Goyim. No. The rabbis know about investing. By the way, there Talmid Chacham, I was just thinking about, I don't want to say his name in this context, I was just thinking about a certain, very big Rav in America, Gadol, was known, someone told me he was a millionaire. He made some good investments. I know another one also is like that. No, it's not something they don't put in the, I don't think they don't write in the Gadol books, yeah. But there are rabbis who are quite wealthy. They spend time. Obviously, everything is big zera, and they had Siyat Dishmaya, of course. But they spend time investing, however much time they spend. So, but that's a good example of something chachma. Someone gives you good advice, a good tip. That's a chachma, not just not just a fact. The chachma. Here's how you approach it. Shalom bayis. How valuable is every chachma in shalom bayis? Understand better how the other half works. This is something that can help my marriage. Marriages always need to be developing and growing. This is a piece of chachma, how I can connect to my child. This is about what Chanukah is all about. It's all precious. Okay, so let's do it, friends. 10 things. Try to do at least 5 from those. If you have 15, even better. I'm going to try to learn 5 things from those outside of my circle, and 5 things from my closer circle, and through that, we're going to be more and more on the way of being lomdem mikol adam. Thank you.